Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. And I am back with part 2 of that video I promised back in February-ish, March-ish. And yeah, massive commission came in, took precedence. But here we go. You're actually going to see what's going to happen. So we're starting the video by showing you the markers I'm planning on using. I used. Which are the Cassart own brand markers. I bought them in a grayscale set of 6 and a skin tone set of 6 because I knew that was predominantly what I was going to use. And what is happening on screen right now is really how, aside from swatching them out, but it's how I tend to blend with markers. And this is just a simple Moleskine notebook that I'm playing with, but I don't use colourless blenders. I tend to blend back, as I call it, so I'll lay down a lighter colour, then put a darker colour over that, then blend in with the lighter colour again. It's not seamless, but it works for me. It works for my style. Yeah, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's what I do, and by all means, choose to ignore that, because this isn't this is how you should do it. This is how I do it. These markers are absolutely fabulous. I was curious about them more than anything. I think they were on sale when I picked them up. Since I bought these, I've gone off and I've purchased their full set, which is 26 colours, 24 colours. I'd have to find the box somewhere behind me. And yeah, they've got such a fast drop of colour, they don't bleed that much. And they were absolutely ideal. So we were on this piece, if you remember what happened on the last episode. The only thing that's happened between the episodes is I laid down a thin coating of pan pastel grey, I think it's Payne's grey, in the background, just to put a tone there. I wasn't hugely specific or precise about it. I just wanted a colour there. And as much as I love markers, the amount of real estate that had to be covered in colour was too much. So I went in, pan pastel, sealed it down with Derwent Perfect's sealer, so it wasn't going to come back up, and just went over the top. The paper is Canson's The Wall. Phenomenal paper. Will take every punishment you throw at it, even with the Cassart markers, and they're very high ink rate. I do jump a lot in this video, I will warn you. It's mostly because I spent so long on some areas. The webbing and the bits in the background behind the monster, once I counted it all up, it took me about 7 hours total to do. So forgive the jumps. You don't want to see me doing that webbing. And it was 99% marker, then black and white coloured pencil. I think it was the Faber-Castell Polychromos I used on this one, just to bring up the highlights, and where I couldn't get too dark, I used the coloured pencil. So that's my only real issue with all markers in general, is if I want to get real dark, I've got to add something to it. But, you know, if you want to go white on a painting, you throw on gouache or acrylic. It's a process. So, here's me trying to work out the skin tones. As you can see, the Arteza and the Winsor & Newtons are out because I needed a little bit more variation than the Cassart markers afforded me. So if I wanted a more purpley skin tone, I'd drop into the brush marker. If I wanted a little bit more punch, drop into the Arteza. Fantastic, they work well with the Cassart markers. Can't fault them. So, yeah, skin. What? You see me render skin so often. It is just about layering light to dark. Again, a little bit of colored pencil come out. I think I was using, again, the Polychromos and probably a little bit of Caran d'Ache on that one. Just pulling out some highlights where they went a bit dull, a little bit flat. I'm still learning markers. I still have to learn how to use skin breaks, as they say on Ink Master, to let the paper be the true highlight. It's something I'm working on. But you can see all the variations coming out now in the skin. All the markers are coming into play. The paper takes such a beating, and it just keeps coming back for more. It was phenomenal. Oh yeah, screwed up. I picked up a pink pen, put it in the background behind her. Panicked. I had to put it in other places. But I think it works out better for that, because your eye follows colour spots, and it works. Here comes the tongue. Yep. There's not much really I can say. There's some Posca for the drool. I'm just rendering in some stone with the markers. You'll see coloured pencils come out here again, because I went too dark. And best way to rescue it. But the whole process is, wow, this whole piece took me about 16 hours in total to do, and most of that was spent on that webbing and the slimy stuff. I learned so much from it that I can say this is how I do an illustration, but I know when it comes to do my next one, it's gonna be completely different because of everything I learned during this one. But yeah, what more can I say? I absolutely love the Cassart markers. I absolutely love the end result of this piece. I've never attempted to do anything like that in the background outside of digital work. And I'm just glad that my limited skill set could match my ambition on this one. To have the tendrils and the hair looping back and forth. I'm happy. It's rare you hear me say that. So here's some close-ups. Here's that freaking webbing. But anyway, I'm going to leave you to it. If you enjoyed the piece, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't, tough, you're already tuned out. Take it easy.